Hello, Capricorn. Welcome to Dove and Serpent Tarot. My name is Paul. If Capricorn is your sun, moon, or rising sign, this is your tarot card reading. Remember to hit the like button, leave a comment. Consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. These readings are totally free. If there is anything you would like me to pray over, or meditate upon, or send positive energy toward, please let me know. Now, this is a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger, and I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I provide. And remember, Capricorn, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. And we start with the Prince of Cups. This is someone who's trying to live their life authentically. This is someone who is really trying to be truthful in their expression, trying to live a life that feels right for them, trying not to be susceptible to the vibes of others. Sometimes this is a card of a very sensitive aura, right? Where we are, we might be at time. I think there was a time where you were very sensitive to what other people felt. And maybe you're an empath. Because I kind of feel like there was a time where you'd go into a room and just the vibrations of that room would sometimes be overwhelming for you and you'd have to kind of leave, you know? That the emotional energy from other people, you can just, you could cut it with a knife. Like you could just, it's heavy in the air, you know? And I feel like you're kind of learning to fortify yourself against this. Maybe you just, started the work of sort of becoming an empath and kind of like stepping into that role, accepting that about yourself and learning how to protect yourself, learning how to shut out, all of those energies and vibrations from other people so that you're not plagued with them, And so it could be that you're a medium or a channel or something like that also, right? It's the ability to turn it off when we don't need to absorb that energy that we have, that we have the ability to kind of, to shut it down. Yeah. But this is somebody who's trying to live life on their own terms, somebody that's trying to create their life from a pure place inside of them, someone that's trying to kind of stick to their truth even when there is that sort of negative energy coming in, okay? Regardless of what energy is coming in from out there, you're staying true to yourself, okay? And there may be a time in your life where you were sort of encouraged to turn your light down, to dim your shine, to not show off your gifts. It's like when you're kind of a kid's like naturally left-handed, but all the teachers like try to force them to be right-handed. I think this happened more in my parents' generation than mine, but I remember even in school when I was a kid, they would try to encourage you to use your right hand. And it's just, no, they say, well, scissors and the way the desks are shaped and the paper and the ink and pencil. I'm just like, I don't care. I'm using my left hand, right? So I kind of feel that there was a time in your life where who you were authentically was discouraged. Yeah, not anymore. Let's put this card into a little bit of context. You've got the Art or Temperance card. You've got the Chariot card. You've got a 7 of Cups. You've got the Lovers. Look at that. This is beautiful. A vertical pillar of major arcana cards. This is Spirit. Active in your life. Spirit is intervening in your life, right? This is the horizontal path right now. Your thoughts and your feelings. Feelings, other way. Your thoughts and your feelings are perhaps having questions, right? We're looking for answers. We're looking for the way forward. We're looking for what is the authentic choice to go forward, right? This is us asking that question of ourselves. And here Spirit is, really connecting, intersecting with your life here. And I think Spirit is putting you in the exact right place that you need to be. Over here we have a 3 of Cups. There's your Capricorn power card. There it is. And it's in the position of your environment. and your relationships with the environment. Okay? Got a 10 of Cups, and you have a Princess of Swords. So you're beginning to kind of like to get your sea legs here. You're beginning to kind of get the answers, right? This is us kind of confused. I'm not really sure what I'm supposed to do. This is you figuring it out. Okay? Trusting in yourself, and I think this is this is an openness and a curiosity, right? I feel like there is a light dawning in your life right now. And I feel that this spiritual energy here is really activating your batteries, the engine of your car, is really starting to get powered up. Because I feel like we're done kind of being in the swamp. We're done feeling like who we are is not worth it. So the 7 of Cups in the background, this is behind you now, right? This is behind you, and I think the light is dawning now. There is these cards of union, and this card, of course, of discipline, and also union and fortification, okay, and progress. And I want to point out, too, that this is the Cancer card. This is the Capricorn card. And Capricorn and Cancer are opposite signs on the wheel of the zodiac. So I feel like this is really about you becoming whole. Okay? I feel like this is about you accepting things of yourself that your parents or whoever raised you or the world or whatever, like discouraged you from accepting. This is like someone who finally is accepting the left-handed version of themselves, and coming together in this wholeness. And this feels like a really powerful time in your life where we're accepting everything about ourselves, the shadow side, the alter ego, those things that we've repressed, those things that the world has told us we shouldn't really be, right? I feel like you're being your true self right now. Let's select the mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card. This is a random card from the Smith-Waite Tarot. This is the factor infinite and unknown. We're going to set it over here with Michael Scott right on top. And we're not going to look at that card until the very end. It will tie everything together. It will give us the confirmation that we need at the end of the reading. If at any point during this message you feel like you might know what that card is, put your prediction in the comments down below. Okay. Now, as we look around the room, we see our 4 major arcana energies. We don't see any fire, but I feel like that fire is kind of what's brewing here. This is a cardinal earth energy. This is a cardinal water energy. I feel like we're getting, this is the car. This is the engine of the car. So we don't have any wands cards though, but we have water and water and water and water. A lot of water. Yeah. We have a little bit of air, and we don't have any earth either, right? So it's mostly the air and the water, right? The air and the water. Thoughts and feelings. How we're feeling about ourselves, how we're valuing ourselves, what relationships we're involved with, what kind of connections we want with other people, what we think about things, right? The way we talk to ourselves, the way we talk to other people. It really is about the heart and the mind. And I feel like this spiritual energy is dawning in your life that is connecting you with your true self and is illuminating your heart and mind. Okay? And I really feel like we're making big changes in our life. This 5 of Swords is the very center of the table today. And to me, this is a card, not so much of confusion now, but this is a card of kind of speaking up for ourselves. This is a card it's change. We're changing the way we think. We're changing the way we speak. We're changing the way we express ourselves. So I feel like you're coming from this more enlightened place because you're experiencing this inner union with the divine, with your true self, and it's giving you different opinions about things. And I feel like you're able to speak your mind even if it's an unpopular opinion. Instead of, that's going to make me cry. Instead of feeling as if you don't have a voice, this is you speaking up. And maybe it's, maybe we're not sure of what we're saying exactly. We don't have all the answers. We don't have everything figured out. But we are sort of taking charge of our life, and we're going to get, we're going to get our 10 of Cups. We're going to get our beautiful life. We're going to live our dream. Maybe the 7 of Cups here behind you, you're realizing that by not pursuing your goals, by not living your dream, we've stagnated. Not living your dream, not at least trying, not at least speaking up and trying to communicate this and figure it out and get a plan, right? Maybe the Five of Swords is us trying to figure out the path forward, okay? Trying to figure out a plan, trying to get organized. Not doing that, though, weighs very heavily on our heart. And that's not something that we're willing to put up with now. This is a toxic thing. This is a feeling that if I stay here, I'm poisoning myself, and I don't want to do that. So I feel like we're kind of, I don't know, we've mustered the courage or something, and we're entering the difficult, pressure cooker of figuring out our own life, figuring out things for ourselves, right? So this might be a relationship. This might be a family thing. This might be just some self-doubt or not trusting ourselves, or just like this is us not doing what we need to be doing in life, okay? Whether it's us, I just don't want to do it. Our ego kind of is just, it has issues. Or if it's from our upbringing or from society or from whatever it is, this is that swamp we want to get out of. And, well, it's behind you now, okay? Because you've taken the first steps. You've decided to activate the spiritual energy in your life. I feel like you probably have a very intense spiritual practice now, that maybe you just started something, okay? We think of the Temperance card as the pressure cooker. This is the kitchen. This is the training ground. This is the gym. This is, this is the sort of the artist's studio. Okay, this is the blacksmith's shop. And I think what happened here is I'm not doing things. I'm not living my life. I'm not pursuing my goals. I'm not in touch with spirit. I'm not living my best life. I'm not blah, blah, blah. All those, not doing those things. We've chosen now to get into the pressure cooker and start doing something different. I feel like you either started like a workout routine, or you started some intentional eating, in other words, a diet, or we started making changes in our life. Something hit, the light dawned in your life, and you said, I'm not going to just sink down into the quicksand further. I'm going to start doing something. So this is like, we did something. We made a big change. We said, okay, I'm going to sign up for the gym. I'm starting to go to the gym. Or we said, I'm going to wake up every morning and I'm going to meditate for 20 minutes. And we made that big change. We implemented it. It's something, right? That's challenging. It's something that is good for us. It's molding and shaping us into something, okay, in a very authentic way, rather than us being molded and shaped by things outside of us that we don't really have a voice about, being shaped by other people, being shaped by the world, because the art or temperance card is us on the blacksmith's anvil, getting hammered by life. We either like who we're becoming or we don't. The Seven of Cups says, I don't like who I was becoming, so I had to make a change. So we started exercising, or we started, I started writing in a journal again, or I started writing poetry, I started painting again, or maybe just for the first time, right? I started learning how to scuba dive. I started a stamp collection. I started reading a book. Whatever it is, right? You started something intentionally. Because there was one day you kind of woke up and said, I have to do something, right? And that's the Temperance card, and it's an authentic something, because you want to have a say in who you become in life. So it could be that we're living a life where just about everything is decided for us. Just about everything is kind of somebody else's idea or plan, or somebody else's organization, We did something that said, I'm going to do this. This is something that I'm doing intentionally. And it could be anything, right? I'm going to start riding my bike again, or I'm going to try to cut back on sugar. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to learn how to make ice cream. That's what I'm going to do. Right? It could be anything. And the idea is that we don't have any earth cards because it doesn't matter what it is. What matters is you're challenging yourself with something. Maybe you're learning a new skill. I'm going to learn guitar, And it has that feeling to me where it's just like one day the light dawns and we just say, I'm going to do something, And we don't always know how it's going to turn out. We don't always know like why or what the purpose is. Maybe we're doing it just because. But with this the Chariot card underneath the surface here, you're somebody that is capable of a lot of discipline. Okay, I think it took a lot of fortification for you to be in the mud. But now if our car is stuck in the mud, we don't just turn the engine off and put the lawn chairs out front and say, okay, well, I guess I live in the swamp here now. You know, no, we try to now, I think, figure out how to get the engine started again and how to get the momentum going, how to get moving forward again. And what you need to do first is you need to push the car. And so I feel like that's what you're doing with this Temperance card, right? You're pushing the car a little bit, okay, in an effort to find your true self, to reunite with your passion and your love and your commitment to life and to your spirit and to the universe and all this kind of thing, right? It could be that we've decided to go on some kind of a journey. We decided to, I'm just going to start a new job, or I'm going to start that other business. I'm going to start my side hustle, right? Whatever it is. I'm going to I don't know. I'm going to clean out the closets. I'm going to clean out the basement. We started doing something challenging, right? In an effort to reconnect with our spiritual energy, or reconnect with the universe, reconnect with our true selves, okay? And be whole again. Because back here, we weren't whole. Somebody else or something else, right, was kind of restricting our true nature back here. Okay. And so the Chariot is our vehicle. We're fortifying our vehicle here. Maybe you are. I feel like you're somebody who likes to travel. I feel like you're somebody who probably has seen a lot of different countries, and I think maybe that's where you really feel like the connection with the divine, you know, when you're traveling, when you're in motion, when we're going someplace we've never been, when you're driving through a new neighborhood, when you're driving through or flying over or sailing across a new country or a new land, you know. I think that's kind of you're sort of an explorer in that way. And that's sort of our Princess of Swords too. I think we need to explore more. We need to get outside more. We need to stay in motion a little bit more. Right now, at least, right? It's an active time, I think, because we only have the air and the water. We don't have the fire. We need the activity. We need to get the fire back. It's sort of like we're relighting the pilot light, okay? And we need to just keep feeding it so that pilot light can grow stronger and stronger and brighter. And then, you know, it's then the engine is you know, kind of fully ignited, yeah, and we get the momentum back. And maybe this is that we've lost a little bit of momentum in our life, in our career, in our life path. We kind of feel like we've been stuck in the mud a little bit, and maybe we were here for a little while, and we just kind of, I don't know, it feels like we just kind of let things go a little bit. It's like you just kind of let the yard get overgrown, and now it's like, all right, you know what, I'm going to get back to it. I'm going to start gardening again. I'm going to plant the flowers. I'm going to plant the tomatoes. Let's do it. And we're trying to get that momentum back. And sometimes we start small. If we've been out of practice at something for a while, maybe you were really adamant about the guitar for a long time and then sort of got stuck in the mud and we were discouraged to do it and we just stopped doing it for a long time. Maybe this is saying, you know what? I want to do it again and I want to do it seriously. I'm really gonna try. I'm really going to practice, and I'm going to get good. I'm going to get frustrated, but I'm going to get better and better, and I'm really going to put myself into it. Really going to do it. You know, it could be something that we're returning to after a long period, after a long absence. Okay, and it can be like literally anything. Maybe you're getting back to dating finally after a long period of just kind of getting out of a bad relationship and then being single for a long time. It's like, okay, you know what? I'm ready. I'm ready to start doing it. Or maybe the ambition for the career. Maybe we're going back to school. See, it could be anything. Yeah. The Lover's card is the commitment. You're capable of devoting yourself to something and going all into it. And I think for you, it's kind of like we have to go all in. And then we have to just keep funneling energy into it. It's like we light the fire before we have all the sticks and all the logs ready. We light the little fire, and then we have to sort of scramble to get other pieces to put on the fire so it doesn't burn out. Whereas some people would go collect the wood first and then light the fire. I feel like we light the fire first, and then we're like finding stuff to feed it because that's motivated. That's like, you know, that's going to keep us motivated. When the fire's already lit and it's threatening to die out, that's going to motivate us to like go collect the wood. Otherwise, we maybe wouldn't even bother, right? So I feel like that's how you operate. But I do feel like sometimes we start small. Sometimes it's like, let's just do one little thing that we can do every day. What's one thing we can do every day that's challenging? It's not like, well, I can wake up. Yeah, check, you know. What if I wake up and I do 30 seconds of like stretching, just little twists, and I touch my toes and I reach up to the sky, and maybe I just do that for 30 seconds. It's not the easiest, not the hardest thing to do. And we do that, and that is us lighting the pilot light. And now we're just finding other things to feed that momentum. And now it's like, okay, well, you know, now I want to build on that until we build up steam, right? Build up this momentum. And it really is all about this devotion, your ability to commit to something 1,000%. And I feel like it is, it's you. You know, you're committing something, you're committing to yourself. You're committing to spirit, okay? In the future position, we, of course, have the Five of Swords. We don't have the answer, right? We don't have everything all figured out. And the Five of Swords is us trying to organize things. There's a lot of chaos in the Swords cards. And it's always us trying to make sense out of the chaos. You see, there's always these jagged lines, all the static. And that's okay. Going forward, we're not going to know. We're not going to see the future. We're not going to have answers. We'll have more questions than answers. Sometimes life is just about finding more questions to ask, not really worrying about the answers. And so sometimes we're going forward without a plan. And like I said, you light the pilot light, you light the flame first, you kindle, you light the kindling first, and then you start scrambling for the wood, right? For the branches and stuff, the firewood. And that's kind of the same thing, that we're starting the process before we have the plan. You know, going forward is more important than figuring everything out first. You're not somebody that needs to sit down and sort of draw a perfect map or print out all the MapQuest directions. You know, when they used to print out the MapQuest and you'd get like one turn per page and it'd be like 50 pages. We don't have to do that before we get in the car and start driving somewhere. I feel like you like to get in the car and go and then figure out the plan later, you know. So going forward is what's important. Having a bad plan or no plan is better than not initiating something because we're waiting for the perfect understanding, the perfect comprehension. We can't wait for all the knowledge first, and that's our Princess of Swords is out there getting the knowledge, doing it. This is you cutting through all the chaos of our thoughts in order to get the plan, to figure out where we're going. The only way we're going to figure out what we're all about and what our life is supposed to be is by getting out there into the jungle and doing the thing, right? So the princess with her sword is trying to cut through all the confusion and all the chaos, and we're doing that in real time out there in the world. We're not doing it in our mind first, right? So we may be going forward with no plan at all, but that's okay. We're going to figure the plan out as we go. All right. Path of the Serpent, let's talk about this. Three of Cups. You love yourself. By the way, if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please do. Readings are totally free. The Three of Cups is a card of abundance. It's a card of, like, in your heart, your feeling, your perception, your general energy is one of love and compassion and abundance. You are radiating out love and joy and beauty to the world. You're shining your unique individual starlight out into the world. You're not toning it down. It's no longer poisoned or corrupted or swampy, sticky, and suppressed. It is pure and clear, and it is flowing out into the world, you know? You're becoming a source of inspiration for others. You are, even though we're going forward with not much of a plan, it feels freaking good, right? It feels nice to be on the road with the wind in your hair doing something. Even though I don't know where I'm going, you know, say, I'll drive to New York. Okay, well, it's east somewhere. We'll figure it out. Because it's the joy of being free. It's the joy of being in motion. It's the joy of connecting, of seeing new things. I think that's why you like to go to new places, right? Because you get to see new things and meet new people and experience the joy of like meeting someone for the first time, or seeing a monument for the first time or something, or visiting a temple or something for the first time. And that's this, I don't know, a jubilation. I feel like you're somebody that when you get happy, like you're bubbling over with joy, right? I feel like you have a really, really good smile, right? I think people have told you, like, your smile is like infectious. That's the kind of person you are. Yeah. The devil energy in the environment, of course, that's where the goat loves to be, out there in the world, traveling, climbing the mountains, exploring new landscapes. And, this is the engine of the car, of course. So this is that sort of driving force. What is motivating you, right? And I think for you, your connections with people, we think of the lone mountain goat, not somebody that usually is a people person, But I think you're motivated by making connections, by being out in the world, not necessarily like, maybe you like to travel by yourself. You know what I mean? You like to be a stranger in a strange land. You like to go and explore new places where you don't know anybody, nobody knows you. I feel like you're kind of the solo traveler. Yeah. And I feel like you love it. I feel like it is just so much fun to be out there exploring new things and to climbing new mountains and, doing new things. I don't know. This could be, maybe you're staying close to home, but this is still, you're out there exploring. And maybe you're going to go to an open mic. Maybe you're going to go like read your poetry or something. You've never done that before. Maybe you're going to sing karaoke for the first time. And it's just kind of like, I think you do a lot of these things on your own. But I feel like, I kind of feel like you're ready for a partnership too. I feel like you're ready to and you're ready to share things with like a best friend and that, that sort of thing. Maybe you have that already. But the exploration, I think, is a big part of your life. And I think you are motivated by experiencing things for the first time, like making those initial connections with things. And like, you can never replicate the first time you taste some amazing piece of fruit, And so, that first time you taste it is the best. And, we can have that fruit again, but it's never going to hit quite the same, So the goat here never likes to climb the same mountain twice sometimes, yeah? So I feel like you very much you kind of got the travel bug a little bit. But I feel like you're very open. You like doing new things. Anyway, that's our Princess of Swords too. I think that really is the key for you, is to figure out what you like and what you want to do and go do it. You don't have to have a plan. It doesn't have to be part of some bigger picture scheme of life. Just go do something that brings you that kind of joy, that gets your motor running. You know what I'm saying? And the 10 of Cups is yours. This is a life that is blissed out. This is a life of contentment. This isn't a life of striving. This isn't a life that says I need to earn more money to be happy, and I'm only happy if I'm earning more. So we're not striving in that way. We're just experiencing. It's kind of like, you're on the mountain and you just think, I'm happy. In this moment, I am happy. I don't need anything, right? This is a dream come true kind of life. And to me, traveling to a bunch of foreign lands and exploring the world, exploring life, even a life where we can make room to try new things once a month, even once a year, that seems like a really good life. Now, it doesn't mean like maybe you got a job. Maybe 90% of your life is striving, working hard, building the life, working the job, earning the money, paying the bills, But that 10% is just pure contentment and pure bliss. Or I'm just here learning guitar. I don't care about anything else. Or I'm just here feeding the ducks at the park, or whatever. I don't know if you're allowed to do that anymore. And that's all that matters to me in that moment. This kind of a contentment and bliss, it would be nice if our life was like this 100% of the time, but it's very rarely like that, right? And in fact, maybe that would be like eating that same fruit over and over again. It just loses its power. So maybe it's the fact that the 10 of Cups is a little bit rare. Those moments or those things, maybe it's just, once a month I'd go and I do something new that I've never done before. But that once a month, oh, that's like, that's the sweetness of the sweetness, And I think obviously our Princess of Swords, we've been talking about her a lot already today. This is that curious spirit. This is somebody that doesn't really need a plan, just wants to go and figure things out along the way. Maybe that's part of the fun. Maybe you're the person that likes to go to escape rooms, and like once a month you go to a different escape room, and you try new challenging things every so often, whether they turn into kind of lifelong loves or they just turn into, well, that was fun, but I don't want to do it again. It still is a cherished experience for you. And I think that you need to do more of that. You need to explore. You got to get curious again. You don't need a plan. You don't need to have it all figured out. Just do something that feels authentic. Do something that you think might give you some joy in the moment. Pursue those things that interest you. And you will come closer to spirit. Yeah, let's look at the mystery card. Let's see, maybe a Six of Cups, right? I'm kind of voting for the Six of Cups here. If you have a prediction, put it in the comments. Let's see. Well, Two of Pentacles. Yeah, your life's changing, right? Your whole life is changing. Something has happened. Something has sparked something in you. This to me feels like two rocks, or it's a flint and a steel, where we strike it and it sparks. And now that little flame is lit, right? And we've got to feed it. We got to keep feeding it. And I feel like this is going to be, and so I don't know what has kind of sparked this in you. But if you're looking for the spark, you got to bang these two rocks together, right? You got to create the spark. And that's by doing something different. There's a routine life that maybe is now starting to feel like just a muddy swamp. We got to do something different. Go and do something that you didn't go to a different coffee shop this morning or something, right? Take a different way home from work. Order something totally crazy for lunch today. You know, not the same old sandwich. You know, let's do something different. Go try a cuisine you've never tried before. Try cooking the thing yourself. You know, do something challenging that you've never done before, and it's acting as a spark. And once that spark catches, it's going to fire you up. Okay, your life is changing big time. Anyway, we're going to do an extended reading. We'll do an I Ching hexagram. We'll do some oracle cards. There's a link up top. There's a link in the video description. New readings for Capricorn, Thursdays and Sundays. Be sure to watch both readings. If you want to watch the readings at the website, go to doveandserpenttarot.com or find me on Patreon. Subscribe to this channel if you haven't yet. These readings are totally free. They don't cost anything. Leave a comment and let me know where in the world you're watching from. I want you to know that you're the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. I thank you and I love you. And we're all in this together.